You're staring at a shelf of laser levels, scrolling through endless listings, wondering if you'll end up spending a lot of money on a tool that never quite fits the job you have in mind. I get it, you've probably heard the hype about rotary lasers being the gold standard for grading, but you also know there are cheap line lasers that can do the basics, and you don't want to throw away cash on something that sits idle in the garage. The real question is, does the Leica Rugby 640 rotary laser level with the Rotary 140 actually deliver the kind of reliability and ease of use that makes it worth the investment for your particular projects? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the kind of work that makes a rotary laser the right tool. Imagine you're a small-scale contractor laying a new driveway, or a landscaper trying to create a perfectly level patio across a sloping lot. You need a reference plane that you can see from any direction, not just a single line that disappears when you walk around the site. That's where a rotary laser shines. It spins a laser beam 360 degrees, projecting a level line that you can pick up with a detector or a staff at any point around the circle. The Leica Rugby 640 is built for that scenario. It's a professional-grade instrument, so you can expect the same kind of precision Leica offers in its surveying equipment, but packaged for everyday construction and site work. If you're a professional contractor, a surveyor, or even a serious DIYer who tackles big projects at least a few times a year, this model hits the sweet spot. The included Rotary 140 makes mounting the laser on a tripod straightforward. The eye lets you line up the instrument without having to crane your neck over a bulky mount, which is a subtle but real time saver when you're setting up on uneven ground. The rotary head itself is self-leveling, meaning you don't have to spend extra minutes adjusting it with a bubble level. You just set it up roughly, press the self-level button, and the internal pendulum does the rest, giving you a true horizontal plane in seconds. Now, let's talk about the practical strengths you'll notice once you actually put it to work. First, the laser's visibility. Leica's optics are designed to cut through bright daylight, so you can see the line even on a sunny afternoon without needing a separate detector for every inch. That matters when you're walking across a large site and need to check the grade at multiple points without constantly moving a detector around. Second, the range. While I'm not quoting a specific number, the Rugby 640 is marketed as a long-range rotary, meaning you can cover a typical residential lot without having to relocate the tripod every few meters. That translates into fewer interruptions and a smoother workflow. Third, durability. The housing is built to withstand the kind of bumps and dust you'll encounter on a construction site. It's not a plastic toy you'll need to replace after a season. It feels like a tool you can count on year after year. Of course, there are trade-offs, and that's where the decision gets nuanced. The Rugby 640 isn't cheap. If you're only planning to level a couple of garden beds or do occasional interior work, the price tag may be hard to justify when a basic line laser could handle the job. The unit's weight is also something to consider. Because it houses a robust rotary mechanism and a high-quality laser source, it's heavier than a typical line laser, so you'll need a sturdy tripod and a bit more effort to move it around the site. For someone who needs to hop from room to room or carry the tool up a ladder, that extra weight could become a nuisance. Battery life is another practical point. Rotary lasers usually run off rechargeable batteries, and while Leica's batteries tend to hold a charge for several hours of continuous operation, you'll still need to factor in the time to recharge or have spare packs on hand for longer jobs. If you've ever been in the middle of a grading task only to have the laser dim out because the battery died, you'll understand why that matters. Planning a day's work with a backup battery can mitigate the issue, but it does add a small logistical step that simpler line lasers often skip. What about the learning curve? If you've never used a rotary laser before, there's a brief adjustment period. You'll need to get comfortable with the detector staff, learning how to read the laser line at different distances, and interpreting the slight variations that can occur due to atmospheric conditions. That's not a flaw of the Rugby 640, it's just part of using a more sophisticated tool. Most users pick it up within a few practice runs, especially if they already have some experience with laser levels. So who should walk away from this review and look elsewhere? If you're a hobbyist who just wants to hang a picture,